Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today the topic is a little bit serious. We're going to talk about personal budgeting, personal finances. This was a request video from my Turkish channel and I thought the idea was so brilliant I had to do it immediately, and here we go. As you can see by the background, I tend to do my success, education and personal development related videos here on my study corner, and if you like this type of content, I have a bunch of videos on this as well as planning, lifestyle, organization. So if you're interested, you can click that subscribe button and join the community. Before I start filming any video, I always like to go online and do a quick research about what other people are thinking about this. Today I'm going to share with you my personal experiences. However, I already did a little bit of research and I stumbled upon an incredible TED Talk about personal finances, and really I was so stunned by it. So I just want to say a few words about it, and I'll leave a link to the talk down in the description box if you want to watch it yourself. But basically, the lady was saying that we were educated for many years in high school, in college, and we learned all the good stuff like, I don't know, math, physics, and all the details that are relevant or irrelevant to our daily lives, and you know, a lot of different stuff. But none of us, well, actually she was talking about the American community, but I'm a Turkish person, I live in Switzerland, and I can tell you these situations are not different in other countries. So none of us are really educated about personal finances or personal budgeting, or how can we actually adult, you know, about money. So if you think that any of these tips that I'm going to share with you today are useful for you, please support this video by giving it a thumbs up. And if you think there are friends of yours who can actually benefit from these tips, feel free to share the video on WhatsApp, on whatever, and send it to them so maybe they will also start investing in their future. The first thing I want to talk about is budgeting. You have to have a budget. Everybody says this, everybody knows this, but it's still such a weird thing to talk about, especially if you're not in your 30s or 40s where money is a little bit more serious. I am 29 and I've been budgeting for a while now, and I think it is key when it comes to personal finances. What I learned from my research about this topic, and also what I unintentionally did in the past, was actually distributing all my income into 3 different segments. One is the necessities, the things that you have to spend money on to be able to survive, and this includes your rent, your bills, utilities, water and food. I mean, by food I mean only the amount of food that you need to eat to be able to survive, and all that stuff. And all of these necessities should be around 50% of your monthly income. If it is above this point, maybe you can think about changing your house, maybe you can think of shared accommodation, or maybe you can think about what you're eating, or if your utility is a little bit higher, what you can do to decrease that electricity consumption and stuff like that. Or maybe you need to negotiate your income. The second segment is investment, savings and emergency funds, and that should be around 20%. Since I'm Turkish, I did the same video in Turkish as well, and I understand depending on the country this number can vary a little bit, but I think 10 to 20% per month is a good number to put aside and forget about completely. What I suggest is to have a different savings account so that you won't be able to touch it unless there's an emergency, or unless there is a planned use for that money, like buying a house or, you know, something for the future. The third part of this monthly income or yearly income is 30%, and it is your lifestyle choices, the expenses that are related to your lifestyle, which include coffee, going out with friends, shopping, hobbies, anything related to your lifestyle choices. And I think that this number is almost always higher than 30%, at least for the people that I know. And I think this is the most part that you can actually cut back a little bit and then analyze a little bit further if you really want that, if you really need that stuff, and if you really want to invest that much of money, because I think you can always grab some money from there and put it to the investments and savings account. But yeah, these are the three numbers that I found and I completely agree with them. I think this is a good number: 50% necessities, 30% lifestyle, and 20% saving. You can use the envelope method for putting your numbers in different envelopes and spending only the money that are in those assigned envelopes. You can find a lot of videos on YouTube about this technique. What I like to use is actually to write these numbers down in my planner. But you can also use a lot of apps. There are plenty of personal budgeting apps out there, so feel free to utilize whatever means that works for you, but make a budget and stick to it. If your budget is over, especially for the lifestyle section, just say no. Just don't buy stuff. Just stop promising people that you will go to a certain organization, a certain event. Stop borrowing money from the upcoming month, or stop taking money from your savings account. A girl actually put it very good on YouTube. Actually, this is about principles. So if you don't have the budget for it, then don't do it. Number two is to understand where your money is going. I've been doing this for years, and I would suggest you do the same. If you don't know at the end of the month where your salary went and you actually have nothing in your hands, like you didn't buy any expensive items or you didn't do anything super expensive, you didn't take a vacation, but still the money is gone, I strongly recommend doing this. I personally like to use my planner. As you know probably by now, these are my planners, my brand. I created these, also the inserts. So for me, this serves the best, of course, because I made it thinking of my own needs. And this is a page from the finance set, and I utilize the whole set, but this is a monthly budget page where I write all of my incomes and all of my expenses for that month. And I also like to write my no spending days on my habit tracker, and I kind of feel proud about that. But you can use, again, any apps, Excel sheets, whatever works for you. Just track down all of your expenses, especially the ones that you pay in cash, because I think the things that you pay on your credit card, you can actually see them at the end of the month, but with cash, it's easier to forget. What I like to do is whenever I buy something or whenever I spend some money on something, I take my bills, I take the invoices or whatever paper they give me, and I put them in my planner or I put them in my wallet, and I come back home and I write everything down looking at those papers, and then I can toss them or do whatever I want to do with them. But every day, make it a habit. Every day, write down your daily expenses and incomes. It is so enlightening to see at the end of the month the percentages what you spend on each category, because I don't know if the English of the sentence was correct, because I'm having like flashbacks at the moment. It is so weird to see that you have spent actually almost the same amount of money on clothes as your rent, which is a little scary and so interesting to see. And I think it is a good moment of clarity, and I don't know, it motivates me more and more to stop impulse buying or online shopping. I really think that next to writing your expenses down, analyze them thoroughly. The third thing is a little bit about the shopping habits. What I started doing a couple of years ago is to write down everything that I want and need in the future. It can be a basic white tee that I really think that I need in my closet, or it can be a nice rug for the apartment, or it can be a bar cart that I really want for a while now. But anything that I want and need, I write down, and actually again my planner in the want list pages. And whenever I am shopping or I'm out or I am like surfing through the internet and I stumble upon something that I actually like, I immediately go through my want lists and try to see if I actually have an item that is similar to the item that I liked. The idea here is to prevent any impulse buying, of course, but also if the price is above a certain limit that you can set on your own, to make you think twice, 3 times, and also see everything else on that list, and maybe at that moment you see something else that you've written before that you want more than what you're actually considering to buy at that moment. And I think that will help you to stop buying what you really don't want and need. Does that make sense? I also like to save up for stuff. You can make it like a savings jar kind of cute thing on your planner. You can Again, do it electronically, however, whatever works for you. If you want to buy something that is a little bit more expensive for you, it can be a new phone, it can be a new car, a house. I like to take the amount that I want to spend or need to spend on an item and I divide it by 12, and then I know how much money I should put aside each month to be able to get that product. You don't have to do it for a whole year. You can set your goal of saving for 4 or 5 months, or you can save for 2 years. It depends on how your brain works, but I think seeing that visual thing, which can also be a vision board, is actually helping or motivating you to save money and not impulse buy small looking, but when they accumulate, kind of big things, and you can actually get something that you really want and worked for a long time. Number 4 is, of course, credit cards. How can I not talk about credit cards when you're talking about personal finances? I had a lot of issues with credit cards. I spent a lot of money when I was in college on my credit cards. I actually went to Europe and I put a lot of the expenses on the credit card there. Actually, they haunted me for a good 10 years. I always paid the minimum, so my credit score was not suffering at all. But still, having debt and having that situation in your head all the time is so frustrating. So I stopped using credit cards when I moved to Switzerland a little over 2 years ago. And actually now I only use cash. I take some cash with me when I'm leaving the apartment, and if I spend all of it, that's it. I don't have anything else to spend. Of course, I have an emergency cash in my wallet that I keep in a hidden compartment and I completely forget about it as well. That is only for real emergencies. But other than that, I don't have my credit card, so when I'm around, I can't actually like something and buy it on the spot. But of course, for online shopping, yeah, having a credit card is important. In Turkey, we didn't have PayPal, so I have an online shopping card. I don't know if that's the case in your country. In Turkey, you can have an internet-only use card and you can set the limit for it, and that's the only thing that I like to use. So there is a limit on it, and the limit is super low, and that's why I can't actually pay so much money on my online shopping. And also, even if it's on a credit card, even if you buy whatever with split payments or anything like that, still write it in your monthly expenses, because you might feel like, especially when you're shopping online, you might feel like you didn't actually spend any money because it just happened so fast and it happened virtually, so you didn't actually give your card or gave cash. But writing that down is also incredibly important. The 5th and final point that I want to talk about is actually decreasing your expenses and increasing your income. I can make 2 separate videos about these 2 topics, and if you're interested in that, leave it in the comments below so I'll know that you're interested, so I'll work on those. But just at the top of my head, you can decrease your expenses, which you heard thousands of times before. Don't go to Starbucks, just make your own coffee at home. Or, I don't know, stop buying that chocolate bar when you're getting gas. But maybe something that is a little bit more hidden is doing actually meal planning. I don't know if I have a video on my English channel here, but I did one in the Turkish one. I can leave a link to it here, but I know that you can find tons of amazing meal planning videos here on YouTube. The point of meal planning is, of course, first, time management, but it's also very effective when it comes to spending. You will see that when you don't cook daily, when you do this planning, you will spend so much less. Of course, there are also a lot of ways to increase your income. You can have a second job, you can do part-time jobs, you can turn your hobby into something that you can actually make some money out of, like my salsa dancing. I'm still giving private classes here in Switzerland. You can do a lot of freelance work if there's something that you're good at. But yeah, this is a topic for a complete different video. If you're interested, I can totally make that, but always remember, when it comes to personal finances, you can always decrease your expenses and increase your income. Money is abundant. So those are my 5 tips and ideas about personal budgeting, personal finances. I hope you liked the video. If you did, support it by giving it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.